We're having a mic. Take it away.
Oh, there we are, and so it begins. Oh no!
Welcome to Church with a Two Drink.
Alright, everybody ready? We're gonna sing. Hey, you know. Okay, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Welcome to the church with Two Drink Minimum. Welcome to the church with Two Drink Minimum. We are interfaith, interspiritual, God optional. So relax and get ready for a celebration. Welcome to the church with a Two Drink Minimum. One more time now. Welcome to the church with a Two Drink Minimum. Everybody, come up with an human.
Hey, human!
Doggy!
Doggies. Get your A human in there.
Hey, human and
A
we doggies.
human, everybody.
Hey, everybody. Boy, it's so good to see ya. It's been a little while.
And it's warm.
Yeah, it's warm. We got the air conditioning on. I hope it's not too loud. I hope y'all...
Yeah, let us know if
Does it
it sounds like
disturb
we're in
you?
an airport hangar. It's quite possible that we sound like we're in an airport hangar.
Because it's warm over here.
It is.
Boy,
Did you enjoy the concert last week?
Oh, I hope you
We
did.
sent a concert in as a celebration of our, the Independence Day
Right.
celebration, Independence Day weekend. We sent our
A little concert I did a few weeks ago. However, I just wanted to say that we've missed you. And,
yeah, we always do. It's
it's
really nice this morning too.
Yeah.
I had a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I was at
Well, this morning I want to tell you what I was doing. I was filming a live version of Church with a Two Drink Minimum for a web series called City and the Beast. So when it comes out, I'll let you know, but they actually wanted me to do like a little 10-minute segment of what we do at Church with a Two Drink Minimum. So that was really
very fun, very fun.
Yeah, it was totally fun. So that's where I was this morning. And I just wanted to say, like, blessings to all, because what a time, huh? It's been very, very interesting. I know, Sina, you guys had major storms in Florida.
Oh yeah.
So I'm really happy to see
Everybody's
you,
okay.
and
Though
that everybody's
everything's still
okay,
happening, right?
And all the odd weather, out west.
Yeah, we had
and
friends in Jersey that lost all
power.
power and the internet for like
Yeah.
2 days.
Yeah.
I know, in Jersey.
For that same storm. I
Yeah.
mean, it
Yeah.
was quite a thing. So
We had some snapped branches in the neighborhood and
yeah.
stuff like that.
It was quite
Everybody's
a thing.
okay.
Everybody's okay. Arizona, you're okay up there. We want to send love to
Nova Scotia.
Nova Scotia,
Yeah.
and what's going on in Arizona's family. And Connie, it's good to see you. I've been trying to keep up with you and Jackie's posts, and I saw y'all took a little vacation, or at least Jackie did. So it's so nice to see you again, and all of our friends on AT
Everybody's
Radio.
moving out. Yeah, I know. Everybody's moving around.
Yeah.
So we'll meet you in the car or in your house while you do dishes and prepare for Sunday meal. Glad you're deciding to tune in.
Yeah, Arizona's saying her pops has an infection, is in the hospital, and so we send
that's
all
happening a lot with her.
love and prayers. And there are several, actually, people in our immediate circle who have had parents transition, and things happening in that manner. So we send all love and light to all these situations. And today we have a lot to share with you, but let's do our sing-along first.
It is time.
Because it's been a while since we sung this song, and
you know it. You should know it.
of
by now.
course, and let me get my leg up here.
Ready to sing along?
Here we go. Let things be.
I let things be
Exactly as they are.
exactly as they are.
You can't change me. let things be.
I let things be.
Exactly as they are.
Exactly as they are.
And you and me.
And you and me.
We'll live in peace.
We live in peace.
Well, I don't know.
I don't know
what anything is for.
what anything is for.
Let's remember that.
I know it's
what
very
anything
helpful.
is for. Unless I listen to.
Unless I listen to
that still small voice.
I have a still small voice
telling me.
It's telling me
a simple truth.
a simple truth.
That everything
is for my good. So let's sing about it.
So let things be.
I let things be
Exactly as they are.
exactly as they are.
You can't change me.
You can't change me.
You can't change
'Cause you can't change God.
So let things be.
I let things be
Exactly as they are.
exactly as they are.
You and me.
So you and me,
We'll live in peace.
we live in peace.
I'm not this body.
I'm not this body
that you see.
that you see.
I am as God
God
created me.
God created me.
And we are all
We are all
one family.
One family.
And it's possible.
Yes, it's possible
to live in peace.
to live in peace.
So let things be.
I let things be
Exactly as they are.
exactly as they are.
You can't change.
Here we go. You can't change me.
You can't
Say it with
change
me.
God.
You can't change God.
Things be.
We let things be
Exactly as they are.
exactly as they are.
And you and me.
And you and me,
We'll live in peace.
we live in peace. Kumbaya. No.
Wow.
And that's really, every time we sing that song, I know we say it here a lot, but it's like, it really goes with the lesson
It does.
today, you know? Because
really
she's going to be
does.
talking about what does it feel like to be present, and what does that have to do with forgiveness, and who do you meet when you're finally here?
Oh, who do you meet when you're
Who
finally
do you
here?
meet when you finally arrive?
Well, I meet Sina
I
and
know.
Connie.
Who's the
and
who do
Arizona,
I see in
and
the audience?
Tika.
I know.
Tika's over there.
I'm sure.
I just saw her. She's over there. So, how funny, because you know, it just gets deeper and deeper the more I sing that song. And you know, so now I'm taking the Ramana Maharshi course with Awakening Together, and I always like to.
So consequently, I am too, because I'm living with somebody who's doing this homework every day.
Right, I'm like, hello, look at
I
this.
know. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this.
And it always amazes me how, you know, truth is true,
Right.
and things, you know, intersect with the Course in
Yeah,
Miracles.
it doesn't
the way
matter
they
what
do.
tradition that you're following. The truth of that, the core of that tradition, will bring you to the same message, because truth
It
is
does.
true.
It's such a great book, The Teachings of Ramana Maharshi, and so let things be. He seems to talk about let things be.
Does he?
A lot? Well, I mean, in my interpretation, you know, there's so many things that coincide. But I want to tell you, because I think this is funny. I want to tell you what, like, my biggest takeaway from what I've been reading lately. This is a quote by Ramana Maharshi: "The wise man stays in the shade."
Oh, I know. we've been saying.
That was early on in my reading, and it was like, you know, 95 degrees with 90% humidity over here, and I was like, oh, yes, that's very wise.
Very wise.
Let's
Very
stay
wise.
in the shade.
Very wise. Stay in the shade.
So every time we walk down the street,
Yes.
now I'm like,
I know.
the wise man stays in the shade.
Uh-huh. So we're getting her an umbrella.
Anyway, yeah, so I need a parasol. If anybody has, you know, a parasol they'd like to send me, please do. So, but let's see how it connects with all this that we're talking about. Connects with the lesson for today. So
Well, you know what the lesson is.
I know, but I want to read it. I want to see it. Okay. Today's lesson is lesson 192. I have a function God would have me fill.
How about that?
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways that I can
Yeah.
read that, but today I just noticed that God would have me fill.
Yeah, it's yours to do.
Yeah. So, let's see.
Meaning that we're waiting for you to do it.
Right. Because everybody is that important.
On its
you
own
know?
terms.
Oh, yeah. Therefore, you have a function in the world in its own terms. For who can understand a language far beyond his simple grasp? Forgiveness represents your function here.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about this today. How well this tracks with the lesson.
Exactly. And we're going to play a song
Yeah.
at the end of the program today that speaks directly to this.
Languages it.
Mhm.
Because it said forgiveness represents your function here. It's not God's creation, for it is the means by which untruth can be undone.
Yeah.
Right. I love the way she reverses this idea. You know. So.
It says, I just want to say this one more thing that it says in that paragraph. Yet, go back up. Yet on earth you need the means to let illusions go. So forgiveness is
the means.
the means
It's
to
the
let
primary
illusions
means of the
go.
Course of Miracles teaches.
Right.
For doing this.
Right.
You know, but she also says God doesn't need to be forgiven.
Right.
The reality doesn't need to be forgiven. Or if
Right.
we need to forgive, because there's nothing wrong with reality.
Right.
Right. We have to forgive our impression of it, our
And
perspective,
our perspective.
our opinion.
I was going to say our opinion.
You know, that's what we're forgiving. So it's like, and that's the means. So what do you do with after that? You don't need to forgive anymore. You can enjoy.
Yeah, so I see it as like being in a state of grace, you know, like the forgiveness is my walk, you know, it's the way I walk in the world, you know, and I've been practicing that too, and just looking at, you know, self-inquiry, using self-inquiry, and looking at when those thoughts arise that disturb me or whatever, even thoughts that I like, you know, I begin to inquire for whom does this thought arise?
Oh, I know,
you
there's Ramana Maharshi.
That's Ramana Maharshi.
Who's upset?
Yeah,
who's happy? Who just got their feelings hurt? Who's mad?
Yeah.
You know?
And that always leads me back
to the moment, right?
It does, but you know what I was going to say, but it always leads me back to I am, which is the self, capital S,
Yeah.
you know? And so I tend to be like, to whom did this thought arise? And then what happens for me is I go back to I am, God is, I am, God is. And that really is helping me right now. It's getting me back on track. I am, God is, you know?
Because there's nothing to do.
Yeah. Except let things be.
Just let things be as they are. But see, the world and the material stuff, and it's like falling in love with the world as it is sort of my spiritual practice. You know, the way because everything is so incredibly gorgeous and important and interesting, just the way it is.
Yeah.
You know, without my needing to understand the whole picture. And so this forgiveness this year has taken on this new idea that God has a plan for you, and I don't need to interfere as nearly as much as I think I do.
Thank you.
I'm going to trust God to know what to do with you. Because what I want to do with you, you know, and the you know, is,
may not be the right thing.
may not be the right thing, you know.
That's very
But
funny.
you know, because it's just coming up to be able to honestly look at my thoughts. It's like she should be doing this, he should be doing this. This isn't acceptable. This is better. Look at this person how they're dressed. Look at this person how they're talking. Look at this person misquote. You're just like, it's at what point am I going to like not need to be the cop for God? You know, and make sure that everybody is getting it right. You know, like turning into like you said, turning in the bouncer at the moment. Okay, you're nice and you get to be in the moment. You do not get to be in the moment.
You're not nice to me.
You know, you weren't nice to me. You are outside of God. Everybody can agree with this because you're not nice. You know, that forgiveness is like, oh, forgiveness that I need to understand the plan. I don't need to just understand the plan for me. I need to understand God's plan for you. and the world, and how it's all got to be. Yay!
Jacqueline!
Look like you've been surfing, Jacqueline.
Woo! Are you having fun? Look at your tan.
Look at you, amazing.
Oh, wow.
I know, we match. Yeah,
So happy to see you.
yeah, well, I don't need to interfere as much. I can with that forgiveness allows me to like enjoy,
Yeah.
right? Enjoy Jacqueline, enjoy
Yeah.
Sina, enjoy
Yeah.
Connie,
And enjoy Arizona.
Enjoy Arizona.
And Tika. Where's Tika?
The enjoyment comes of being able to, for me, is this falling in love with the moment. This interest in the beauty, interest in this discovery of what's now, of what's here, of this rolling, ever blooming moment that never ends and is as deep as I can perceive.
That's beautiful. I
So-
feel really lovely right now.
So, speaking of deep as we perceive, would you do us a lovely
Yes,
a
let's
circle of
do
love
our
meditation?
circle of love meditation, and then we're gonna play a video after that of my song "Love and Light," which I'm performing with one of my best friends, Doreen, at a Unity Church in Norwalk, Connecticut. So that's
So
a
we've
it's
had
a lovely
we've had a relationship. For a
yeah.
while.
But let's first breathe together, and 3 times, and let the last one out on an Om, and then we'll do our little circle of love. Here we go. We together are co-creating a circle of love, and today I feel that circle of love lighting up my chakras as we breathe. Just notice that love filling up each chakra center, because we are made of that love. That unconditional love is what we are made of. That is the spark of the divine. That is God. That is what we seek. That universal, unconditional love that we are made of, that is within us for us to know intimately. So we celebrate that today. We celebrate that unconditional love. And in this circle of love that we're creating, we just allow it to bubble up inside of us and spill out into our places where we live, and into our streets and our cities and our towns and our states and our country and our world, because we know that everything that we like and everything that we do not like is included in this circle of love. All life is one, and everything in life is holy. And we celebrate that. We celebrate that today. We celebrate the power of forgiveness, the tool that we use in this plane to let illusions go. And we know and we celebrate our Native American ancestors on whose land that we inhabit. And here in New York, we are in Lenape territory. And in Vermont, when we're there, we're in Abenaki territory. And we know and we celebrate that Black Lives Matter and Black trans lives matter. And we know and we celebrate that human consciousness is shifting, and we're moving toward a realization of the greatest good for us all. That the earth is changing, the earth itself is changing. And we lovingly stand by Mother Earth as she shifts and changes. And we listen to the voice that likes us, that voice of love that's guiding us to tell us where to go and what to do and how to get there. We celebrate all of this today, and we just realize that we are blessed by the love and the light that is within us. Blessed be, and so it is. Oh, there we go. Thank you, Simon.
I'm living in love. And light. Yes, I am. I'm living in love. And light. Yes, I am. I'm living in the truth that love has healed my life, because I'm talking about, yes, I am talking about, I'm talking about love. Love and light. Sing it. Living in love and light. Yes, I am. I'm living in love and light. Yes, I am. I'm living in the truth that love has healed my life, because I'm talking about, yes, I am talking about, I'm talking about love, love and light. I'm just gonna preach a little now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. I know how it is. Every now and then, you just feel like you're all alone. But I'm here to tell you that you are not alone. Just look deep inside yourself. Are you breathing? I ask you, are you breathing? All right. You have everything you need to move into this world, and love will heal your life, because I'm talking about, yes, I am talking about, I'm talking about love, love and
Oh, I know. Didn't she look like a suffragette there in our little white suit? That's her first thing. She looks like, oh, Suffragette Sunday, you know. And our friend Barbara realized that the Unity candle wasn't lit in the song called "Love and Light." So she goes up on the stage and lights the candle to the Unity. This is like, you know. This is the slice of our life when we go out of town on things, you know.
Perfect time.
It is.
Yes, it was at Pastor Sean's. Yeah,
Yes, okay.
Arizona has been to that church with us.
Yes.
Yeah, it's Pastor Sean Moniger's church in
Lovely Norwalk.
Lovely Norwalk, Connecticut. Yes, it's so much fun to visit Unity churches, as we know. And so yeah, I just really wanted to share that, and just am excited to share this lesson with you today because, if you can share this.
Oh, okay.
This is why actually I wanted to play Love and Light today because on Glenn's booklet that he makes every Wednesday, he does these beautiful little images, and I wanted to show you what he has on today's booklet. See, isn't that pretty? I just think that's very pretty. And there's all the beautiful spectrum of light coming in like that. So, let's see. What chapter are we on today, sweetheart?
Okay, I think we're 17, 18? Where are we? 17, 16, 17,
where is
18?
it?
17. Yeah.
17.
17. This is called Forgiveness and the Holy Relationship. In this chapter, 17 is, I often talk about it as being the part along the journey where it's easiest to give up. You know, the light, the dark before the dawn.
Right,
You know,
right,
or the hard part before it gets, easy. Or the doubt is still maybe just a little bit more than the surety is. She calls this forgiveness in the holy relationship. And she calls this aspect. And so we're asking in this section 17 to really, today I would say, fall in love with the path. The path. It's like, you learn your method. Be honest about what works for you. Discover and really work with the tools that are bringing you these, the conditions. See, this is the first half of the Course in Miracles is really about, often about moving away from what we do not want. And the other half of Course in Miracles is, of course, about moving toward what we do want.
Yeah.
And the end of the chapter is the lesson the Course in Miracles wants to do to create a forgiven world in which the conditions of peace produce the happiness and the experiences that you want. That's the method that she uses, and she uses this with a way of talking about a relationship. That's why I totally love the Course in Miracles, because it's so centered around us, the knowledge or the truth that you're not alone and friendless, and you can't be alone and friendless.
Right.
So
exactly. That's what I should have said in the song. You are not alone and friendless. Are you breathing?
I know. So this forgiveness and the holy relationship we're going to look at today, and what in section 2 she calls the forgiven world, in which we recommit ourselves to the path. We recommit to what works. We recommit to looking at the world in a new way, forgiving, trying new things, working with what works, and being honest about what doesn't work. Because there's some things that we've held on for a very long time that may have been coping mechanisms in which they actually did work for a while.
For a while,
right?
Yeah.
And so those are tools that we've worn out.
Right.
We've used them for everything. So what we're going to do is look at chapter 17. It's section 2, the forgiven world. Yolanda wants to say hi to everybody.
I know. I want to make sure. Oh, look!
Oh, yeah.
Marie, your hair. It's gorgeous.
Yay.
Wow. Oh, I love it. Oh, that's so awesome. That is beautiful.
It is.
Okay, we're going back and forth between screens, so we'll check
read
up
this. Read what I've highlighted for the first paragraph.
Okay, here we go.
Very fun. This is very fun.
Yeah, this is a great lesson. Okay, here we go. Can you imagine how beautiful those you forgive will look to you? Can you imagine how beautiful those you forgive will look to you?
That's the opening salvo for this line, and it's a reminder that she's talking to somebody who's living in the world. She's talking to us with bodies and feelings and desires and jobs and hungers and things like that. And she says, "Can you imagine how beautiful those you forgive will look to you?" You could say. You can say lots of things about this. You can say how unscary the world would look if you forgive it, how beautiful the world would look, how enticing or how interesting, or the world becomes what it is if we can let go of our designs on it. And the discovery of our designs on it is where she starts this thing. So she says, so when we let things be as they are, they actually do appear gorgeous, because
just like everything's beautiful hair.
Right.
I love it.
You can't change me because you don't need to, because I'm already gorgeous, right?
Yeah.
It's our opinions and limitations that make them appear unpleasant, right? The other people or the other things in life. We can't imagine a reality, but we can experience it. Do you see the difference there? The reality that we can't even imagine what true reality is, right? There's part of us that knows it, but the part that she's working with here, if you want to experience this in a three-dimensional way, what the world calls waking up or becoming enlightened, and having all of our cylinders capable, running, all of our powers, all of our talents in the service of reality. It's when we begin to do that, the reality that comes to us is something that we never could have thought of, right?
Wow.
Like, I can't even imagine my life together with Yolanda 10 years later than when we first started. I can't really wrap my mind around what we're doing and where my mind is right now. The reality isn't something that I'm in charge of, right? So what are you grateful for in this reality? It brings up gratitude and joy. It says, are we grateful for what we have? Are we grateful for what we want to have, that is ours to do, to change? It's like, oh, I have a desire for this connection. I have a desire for reality. I am putting my service and my skills or my internal BTUs, right? I was reading about a physicist's understanding of what happens when a body dies. About the energy, the part that's pumping and the heat that's released and stuff like that, and about that death being just an exchange of energy where nothing is lost in the world. It's just a change from one energy state into another energy state, and that everything that made that person is still available in the world, and all the love, all the joy, and everything, and from a physics perspective, never left you.
That's
it just
so
changed.
Cool.
Our ability to see it. I just love that idea.
The forms changed? Is that
just
what you
the form
mean?
changed. Just the forms changed.
Interesting.
So read this next bit.
Okay.
So it's enjoying. So the idea, she opens this idea about forgiveness by talking about, look, things already are gorgeous. You don't have to do, things are already perfect just the way they are. Why do we need, don't you want to have that experience? Are you interested in the reality that I'm offering you that's better than anything you can think of? Are you willing to entertain that idea? What's the next idea?
Ooh. I'm getting interested. Okay. The next part
continues to describe the real world.
It is the real world, bright and clean and new. There are no fantasies to hide the truth. Nothing is hidden here, for everything has been forgiven, and there are no fantasies to hide the truth. Beyond all ugliness into beauty that will enchant you and will never cease to cause you wonderment at its perfection. Woo!
So,
wonderment.
okay, she uses enchantment, wonderment, and perfection.
Beyond all ugliness into beauty. Oh my gosh. That will enchant you. I love it. So magical.
That's the world we live in. The world beyond ugliness.
Yeah.
Beyond it. Right? We live in an enchanting world. We live in a world of wonderment. We live in a world that is perfectly all of those things. And no fantasy that we can hold about it can change that truth that actually exists. Actually, she's asking us to look at the fantasies about you wanting it different is the pain that you're causing yourself.
Absolutely. Right.
Asking you to be honest about, without guile, to tell what's happening for you. The joy from reality doesn't fade. It builds right when you're on this path. Each step forward on our journey is actually a new place. It's sparkly. This is what I wrote. She's reading what I wrote. It's sparkly. So reality isn't hiding. We know that, right? Reality isn't hiding from us. We're doing all the hiding. We know that. The choice is, and we're hiding behind our opinions. We're hiding about, trying to mitigate loss. Right. We're mitigating class and all this stuff because we believe that is going to bring us the conditions that are going to produce the happiness that we want. We've been down this road before. The choice is not to hide. Okay? The choice is not to hide. This process of seeing and participating with reality is way more easier than we're making it out to be. We're throwing up obstacles, but that also means that they're pretty flimsy. and they come down really easily, and they don't impact reality. They impact our experience of it. So we aren't hurting anybody. And she says that reality is reliable. So the question we begun to say is, okay, are you prepared to choose the truth of reality over whatever best version of it that you could have?
Wow.
Are you willing to choose get that unknowing part of yourself to this relationship with oneness? That something better, something that you can't conceive of, something so wholly without ugliness, wonderment, and enchantment that maybe you're not in charge of.
Wow.
That if we can forgive what we need to impose on reality, that enchantment becomes an experience of this reality.
Oh my God. I love it. I'm having just a moment here. Ooh, let's breathe that in. Let's see what's going on. I mean, switch back to the room for a second. I want to see. Are y'all breathing? I know. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it today. All right. Let's see what the next piece
so
is.
This is just joyous for me. Read the next. Read the next bit. Bright and clean and new and shiny. Okay. Read the next bit.
Okay. Let's see. By your own forgiveness, are you free to see? By your own forgiveness, you are free to see.
Yeah, I love that.
Yet what you see is only what you made, with the blessing of your forgiveness on it.
See, there's two kinds of seeing here.
Okay,
One is seeing the obstacles, and one is seeing what's beyond the obstacles. Right? You can't see beyond the obstacles till you first see the obstacles.
Oh, good. That's what we're doing in our personal lives.
Yes.
This is really something that we're doing in our personal lives. We're inviting the obstacles to
not be afraid.
Yeah, so that we can see them and move past, so that we can see what's in our way. We're inviting them to show up for us so that we can see it and move beyond it.
With the blessings of your forgiveness upon it.
Yeah, which is exactly how we're doing
it. If I can look at
it
it clearly, I go, oh, I don't want that. This doesn't work. I don't have to figure out why it doesn't work or anything like that. I just say, this is obviously not me, and it's not working. There is a plan for our lives. We don't create it. We fulfill it. We have that voice in our head, right? There is a plan for our lives if we will step into it. Swear. The way is before us. It really is, but it requires some action on our part, right? Like to be on the path and not the path that we wish we were on. To be on this path. Ours.
Our path.
And to do your method and be honest about what works. We learn what is ours to do and are delighted by it, right?
Right.
Even though it might be difficult. Right. And we might experience failure, and there's are going to be triumphs and glory and defeat and despair along this, because this is things that we need to do to create the conditions that produce the peace that we want for the world that we live in as our art exercise, because remember that we are the Holy Spirit's assignment. Right? Remember that? These fantasies actually, when we begin to do what is ours to do, lose their appeal. Because what is real and what's actually happening is like way more cool than I could have thought it myself.
Right.
So letting go of how it's supposed to be shows us what is.
Dun, 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 dun,
That's
dun,
the forgiveness
dun,
she's talking about. And she says, this feels like freedom.
Yay.
This feels like freedom.
Woo!
Rock with me, baby. So the question is, are you motivated to take the next step? And it's like if it's like, oh, the obstacles are coming down. My relationship is getting better. I'm less worried about stuff. Oh yeah, I'm ready to take the next step. This is empowering. One thing leads to the next step and becomes ours to do. We become very interested in doing what is ours to do. Are you very interested?
Yeah, let's go back to the room for a second. Yay, motivation! I know, right?
It's interesting, right? This is art. This is our artwork. This is our feelings. This is the way we actually connect with other people. Help me build this. Help me understand this. I don't know, or when I say, how this relationship with the moment, this relationship with God, this relationship with all that is something that we're always doing, we aren't always conscious of doing. And the way we can consciously choose to participate with what is real, okay, as opposed to choosing to create a fantasy or a judgment about what's happening, like how the person was walking in front of us on the way. Took a walk, and there was this person with this
Another drama on the
outfit,
street.
You know, how could they wear that? Don't they look really terrible in that? No, so if you can stop, if you can catch yourself from creating the narrative, like the narrative that leads you off, you can make the choice to like say, oh, the narrative that keeps me on the path, the practice that makes me on the path. See, it's not just one thing. You can congratulate yourself on catching yourself, like we do, on choosing the other path, on choosing the fantasy. It's like I caught myself that time, and it only took me a half a day, or it only took me, or whatever it took you. Hurry up and fail. Hurry up and get involved in your process. Hurry up and get involved in like discovering about what your process is and how you do it, and be interested in, because she promises there's an enchanting world on the other side.
Oh, that was an enchanting
day.
day.
A wonderful, perfect experience of perfection as the way it is. Don't you want less responsibility for creating perfection instead of more responsibility for creating perfection? Do you really want it to be all on your little mind to create perfection? No. I think all of us collectively could come up with a better idea of what was great than I could all by myself. Just as a little example, because I have only had this many thousands of hours of experience. You've had those many thousands of hours and those many thousands of hours and those many thousands of hours and experiences and talents and things like that. Together, we are, in this moment, collectively greater than any of us can be by ourselves.
Ooh.
And if you think about cooperative animals and energies and planets and trajectories and chemical makeups and physics and energy transfers, it becomes this, you start stacking functions in which we are asked to do what the Bible calls a mustard seed's worth of effort.
Truly.
You're just like, just be the mustard seed. Would you just be the mustard seed? All we need from you is this mustard seed of efforts. Can you manage this mustard seed of effort? And we're like,
well,
no,
actually, it's faith, not effort.
I mean, faith. Thank you. See? That's why
we weren't mentioning effort. We were talking.
Well, sometimes faith does feel like effort. To me, it feels like this because I don't believe this is going to work out.
Right,
I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, but I don't believe it's going to work out. It
Yeah.
almost always works out, and I learned something. That's the joy of what being interested in this life is. That's the joy of working with this idea of forgiveness and catching yourself when you go, nope, want it the other way. I'm exiting reality. Heaven is right down this. I think there's just no resentment. That's. I want to get off the resentment hotel, and go up there and stay there for a while, take a vacation, in all my anger, and you like wallow in my toxic pool for a little while,
No.
We can be all really guilty of that.
Let's say hi to George. Hey,
Hi, George. Glad you're
so
here.
Happy to see you.
So we're coming up to so the reality doesn't fade. It actually enhances when we start more involved with it, right? Each step brings us to a new place. Each step brings us to a greater understanding of wholeness, a greater experience of this reality. And she says it becomes reliable. It becomes something that we don't have to. It takes less and less effort to walk away from your own disaster.
Oh,
right?
Interesting.
You walk away from your own mistakes and go, oh,
yeah,
that's just
that
a
was
mistake.
a mistake.
I'm just like, oh, amends, taking responsibility, and you just leave the disaster, and you don't have to make it better. So, read this next piece.
All right. And by your own forgiveness, you are free to see. By your own forgiveness, you are free to see. Yet what you see is what you made, with the blessing of your forgiveness on it.
There
yes.
is a plan for our lives, so we stepped
that.
into it.
Right. So the next part is perception will be meaningless when it has been perfected. For everything that has been used for learning will have no function.
See, there you go. Once you're done with the tool, you put it down. The old metaphor of the how do you take a thorn out of how do you take a thorn out?
Oh, with the thorn
when
itself?
you take another thorn, and then you throw both thorns away.
Right.
Forgiveness, she uses again as this metaphor she likes to use in the Course in Miracles about the little bridge. And this is another way of understanding the mustard seed idea.
Okay.
It's this: if we make a choice, if we make the decisions to do what is ours to do without needing to know the big old giant picture, perception is meaningless when it has been perfected for everything that has been used for learning. Everything that has been used for learning, as it's been perfected, now it's perfect. So it doesn't have a function anymore. It's completed. Now it goes on and does the next thing. Us, our evolvement. So once so use forgiveness to get yourself to the real world. The real world being present in the relationships that already exist for you. In this present world. And if you can manage to use the thorn, use forgiveness to help you understand where you would rather the world be different. Where it hurts. To look at where it hurts. And say, we can do this together. This is the relationship. This hurts because it's a relationship that needs to be healed. My relationship with what is. And my perception has told me that it's too dangerous or whatever to be a part of. The world eventually will be perceived. This is the promise of A Course in Miracles and every spiritual path I've ever known about. The world will eventually be perceived as one thing, as the oneness, as the wholeness, right? And we say that it is a reflection of ourselves, the self, the big S self. This world eventually, and all the things in it, and our place in it, will be seen as one, and it will be a reflection of this oneness that we identify with. When this happens, there's really isn't anything else to do.
So the wise man stays in the shade.
So it becomes what you want to do. It becomes creative. It becomes generative. It becomes art. The world will be seen as the effect that it always was, without the exceptions or levels or degrees that we impose on things. Like, this is better, this is worse, this is no. These are just functions, and when their function is complete, they don't have any more meaning. This understanding produces a gratitude for who we are and the shining perfection that we didn't create, but that is reflected all around us. And so I can live in this beautiful, perfect world if I can just keep my hands off it.
Get your hands off.
I know. So the question is, the world reaching back to you as you reach out to the world in gratitude?
Yeah.
On this path, and it's like, oh, this is work. This is working. The world is reaching back to you as you reach out to those relationships. When I say the world, I mean those real relationships. What is real? The relationships that are already in our lives, and forgiveness. In those, using forgiveness to heal or understand the blocks to those those relationships fruit, does bring us to this moment. She offers the relationship as a door into this moment. That forgiving yourself in the relationship with how we do this with each other actually brings about this experience of enchantment and wonder with the world. Because we're not trying to mitigate a connection. We're not trying to make sure we feel or certain things happen. Because we don't understand, and we don't need to, the whole big picture of this energy transference, right? That the physics all talk about. I don't need to understand to be able to, map out the place of dark matter in the universe. If you need me to, I could. That's another show. But so there is. I don't need to understand that. What I need to understand is that you and I are one. That we're creating this moment together.
I like what Marie's just shared. Yeah. When I reach out to the world with love, no exceptions, forgiveness to those issues that come up in my day, this leaves my mind open with heart, no ego-making judgments. what is right or wrong. Thank you for sharing that.
And you make better decisions that way,
Yeah.
don't we? We make way better decisions that way when you don't have to weigh this person or weigh this or we create levels and and all this other stuff. Because that's how my brain kind of does. Because what I do for a living is I'm a spreadsheet jockey. I manage about a $3.5 million pension account for a union. So where do you think my my brain operates? It wants to break things down, categorize them, look for similarities, look for patterns, and that's all really good. And I do have a talent for that. But that is just recognizing a pattern in the reflection. And the relationship should be with what is creating that pattern, not the pattern. Right? I want a relationship with you, not the molecules and the chemicals and your biome. Although we're experiencing relating to each other's biomes a lot now, aren't we?
Yeah.
We take up a lot more space physically even than we thought we do. We're actually 6 feet all around us in this chemical soup of a biome that we swim into each other and we mix with each other's and stuff like that. And some of it's kind of cool with pheromones and hormones and smells and perfumes and energies, and you can feel the heat off somebody. And some of them we're exchanging little microbes. Love you. Here's part of my gut. Here's part of my, it's like we share everything. The world, and that doesn't have to change. What has to change is, are we going to be in relationship with an effect, or are we going to be in relationship with cause? And the cause of those relationships is the love and care and mitigation of the real material suffering of others.
Wow.
Right? Something that Harvey told about.
Oh,
So
yeah.
here
Andrew
we
Harvey,
are.
yeah.
Forgiveness is the key to a healthy relationship with all that is. And forgiveness, I think, will help us use that as a tool in our relationships to open the door to the great oneness and feeling of you're not alone and friendless.
Right.
Feeling that gives me a lot of power in the world to walk upright and do what is mine to do. So remember, you're listening to your favorite anarchist preacher, Glenn Morton Ganaway, and you are on Church with a 2-Drink Minimum. That's what we do.
I'm enjoying my tea today. Wow. Okay, so I'm gonna share a video, a song, and this video has a story to it. And I was so you're preaching today. Got me all excited. And I really feel like it ties in so beautifully together.
Well, we just experienced the 2 Confederate statues in Charlotte were taken down. Charlottesville. Were taken down this week from the Unite the Right riot 3 years ago.
Well, 4 years ago.
4 years ago.
Yeah. So in 2017, if you guys remember, there was a riot in Charlottesville. Is that Virginia? I think it's Virginia. Charlottesville, Virginia. Anyway. And Heather. That's where Heather Heyer was killed,
murdered,
and it was so. The reason why I'm bringing all this up because it relates to the song and the video I'm going to do. And this week we saw that those statues were indeed removed. Now, in 2017, on that very day, we had scheduled a video shoot for this particular song called Let Go of Grievances, which is, based on A Course in Miracles lesson, Let Go of Grievances. So we had gathered a group of my friends and different spiritual practitioners that we went to seminary with, and we all got dressed up, and the intention was to create a circle of love, actually to create a circle of love and forgiveness with this video, and to send this energy out into the world. Well, at the very same time that we were recording this video, the Charlottesville riots were happening. At the very same time we were recording this, and we didn't know this. So later, when we edited the video, I added just a touch of the
news events,
newsreel at the very beginning. So I hope it's not too upsetting to you, but look at what's scrolling underneath the newsreel, and it will explain to you why I'm including that. And then it moves into the video proper. Now, we turned this whole video into a documentary
forgiveness
on
project.
forgiveness. It was a really huge project, but we're just going to show the first part to you, which is the song "Let Go of Grievances."
And the introduction.
So,
Thank you, Simon.
thank you, Sina. Yeah.
Are the future! We are the future!
You will not replace us!
This country ultimately belongs to us in terms of what it means, in terms of its history, and in terms of its future. So get used to that.
Together, we will make America great again.
My soul, my mind, my strength. My hands, my feet, my everything. My heart, my soul, my mind, my strength. My hands, my feet, my everything. I give to Holy Spirit to bring miracles and blessings. When I let go of grievances, just a little bit of willingness to accept forgiveness, and we are free. Yeah. Let go of grievances, just a little bit of willingness to accept forgiveness, and we are free. Miracles will come to me. Miracles will come to me when I forgive the world. Miracles will come to me. Miracles will come to me when I forgive the world. When I let go of grievances, just a little bit of willingness to accept forgiveness, and we are free. Yeah. Let go of grievances, just a little bit of willingness to accept forgiveness, and we are free. We are free. We are free. Let go of grievances, and we are free. We are free. We are free. Let go of grievances, and we are free. My heart, my soul, my mind, my strength, my hands, my feet, my everything. I give to Holy Spirit to bring miracles and blessings. Miracles will come to me when I forgive the world. Miracles will come to me when I forgive the world. When I let go of grievances, just a little bit of willingness to accept forgiveness, and we are free. Let go of grievances, just a little bit of willingness to accept forgiveness, and we are free. We are free. We are free. Let go of grievances, and we are free. We are free. We are free. Let go of grievances, and we are free. We are
Perfect.
And
Perfect.
thank. Yay! Thank you, everybody, for
It's
joining
such a good time.
us.
Such a good time.
So we're gonna stay for something genuine with Reverend Jacqueline. next Sunday. Thanks for